Constantine, starring Keanu Reeves, is getting a sequel. Everything we know about Constantine 2's development, release date, cast and story is listed below. Everything we know about Constantine 2 is listed below. The Keanu Reeves film was a reimagining of the DC Comics character John Constantine, also known as Hellblazer. Reeves' interpretation of the character ditched the character's usual blonde appearance and British accent, but he made the supernatural detective his own. Francis Lawrence's feature-length directorial debut, Constantine, had hopes of becoming a franchise. These hopes are finally being realized nearly 2 decades later with the release of a Constantine sequel. Constantine was not a big hit when it first came out in theaters in 2005. The film grossed over $230 million worldwide, but received mixed to negative reviews, reducing the likelihood of a Constantine sequel for years. However, Constantine developed a cult following over time. With Reeves' career resurgence thanks to John Wick, calls for Constantine 2 grew louder, fueling speculation that the sequel would be made in some form. Indeed, the popularity of Constantine 2 prompted Reeves and others involved with the first film to seriously consider the possibility of a sequel, and it's now been announced that the long-awaited sequel is officially in the works. Here's everything we know about Constantine 2 so far. But first, let's jog your memory with the first film's plot. A scavenger in Mexico recovers the tip of the spear that pierced Jesus Christ from a ruined church and transports it to Los Angeles after becoming possessed. There, cynical occult expert John Constantine exorcises a demon from a young girl after witnessing the demon's attempt to enter Earth through her, which should be impossible due to a treaty between heaven and hell. Constantine, suffering from terminal lung cancer, meets with a half-breed angel Gabriel to request a life extension in exchange for his work deporting hell's forces. Gabriel responds that doing good for selfish reasons will not get him into heaven. Angela Dodson, a detective, is looking into the death of her twin sister Isabel, who jumped from a psychiatric hospital roof. Angela cannot believe her devout Catholic sister would commit suicide and damn herself to hell. Angela hears Isabel say Constantine while watching security footage and seeks his assistance. He refuses to assist until he sees demons pursuing Angela and repels them. He uses a ritual to visit Isabel in hell and confirms she committed suicide. Constantine tells Angela that she committed suicide as a teenager after being traumatized by seeing supernatural creatures, and that even though he was revived, he is condemned to hell when he dies. Father Hennessy, Constantine's friend, discovers a symbol on Isabel's wrist at the morgue but is killed by the half-breed demon Balthazar. Hennessy carved the symbol onto his hand for Constantine and Angela to find, which they did. Angela also discovers a clue to a chapter of Hell's Bible in Isabel's hospital room. Before being killed by Balthazar, Constantine's ally, Demon, tells the pair that the symbol represents the Antichrist Mammon, Lucifer's son, and that the chapter foretells him usurping his father and conquering the earth with the help of a powerful psychic and divine assistance, Isabel, the psychic, killing herself to stop Mammon. Angela revealed that she possessed powers similar to Isabel's but suppressed them in order to avoid being labeled insane like her sister. By inducing a near-death experience, Constantine assists Angela in reawakening her powers, which she then uses to track down Balthazar. Constantine questions Balthazar and discovers that the blood of Christ on the spear tip represents Mammon's divine assistance, and Angela had been chosen as his new host. Unseen forces destroy Balthazar and kidnap Angela, who is possessed by Mammon. Constantine conjures visions to locate Angela at the psychiatric hospital with the assistance of witch Dr. Papa Midnight. Constantine arms himself and assaults the building with his driver and apprentice, Chas Kramer, fighting his way to Angela through hordes of demons. Constantine and Chas appear to exorcise Mammon from her, but Chas is assassinated by an unseen force revealed to be Gabriel. Gabriel, resentful of God's favoritism for humanity and forgiveness for even the most evil, plans to unleash hell on earth so that those who survive will become truly worthy of his love. Gabriel hurls Constantine aside and prepares to pierce Angela with a spear tip in order to free Mammon. Desperate, Constantine slits his wrists and commits suicide, knowing that Lucifer will personally come to collect him. Time is stopped when Constantine persuades Lucifer to intervene and stop Mammon. Gabriel's ineffective smiting of Lucifer reveals God's abandonment of them, and Lucifer burns away Gabriel's wings before banishing Mammon to hell. For his assistance, Lucifer offers to bring Constantine back to life, but he instead requests that Isabel be sent to heaven. Although Lucifer frees Isabel, Constantine begins his ascension to heaven for his selfless sacrifice. Infuriated, Lucifer brings Constantine back to life and removes his cancer, believing that he will eventually prove his rightful place in hell. Let us now return to Constantine 2. Is it happening? Constantine's future appeared to be entirely on television at one point, with J.J. Abrams at the helm of the HBO series. Though J.J. Abrams' planned HBO Max series is no longer moving forward, he will produce Constantine 2, which has been officially greenlit, potentially setting up DCEU's Justice League Dark. Despite the fact that the first film was not a critical success, Warner Bros. Has decided to turn it into a franchise in light of the recent efforts to bring more DC characters to the big screen. Keanu Reeves' career has been on the rise recently, with more John Wick films on the way, as well as the most recent Matrix and Bill and Ted installments under his belt. Constantine 2 was announced in September 2022, along with other details about who will be involved in the upcoming project. There's no telling who will be in Constantine 2 cast, but some major players have confirmed their involvement with the upcoming sequel. Keanu Reeves will reprise his role as demonologist and supernatural exorcist John Constantine, but it's unclear whether Peter Stormare will return as the devil. Francis Lawrence, who directed the first Constantine, will return to direct the sequel. Furthermore, screenwriting veteran Akiva Goldsman will write the script this time around. He will also produce through his company Weed Road Pictures, as well as through Bad Robot with J.J. Abrams and Hannah Minghella. The plot of Constantine 2 is unknown, but the ending of the first film does set up several arcs, such as Angela pursuing a career in the paranormal if Weisz returns for the sequel. Constantine 2 could also go in a completely different direction, with Constantine and Midnight pursuing different leads. With so much comic material to draw from, the possibilities are pretty limitless. There's no set release date for Constantine 2, because the project is still in its early stages. There will be no major updates for some time. Goldsman is still working on the script, and Lawrence and production team are presumably still working out the larger story details. This is compounded by the hectic schedules of Keanu Reeves and Francis Lawrence. Lawrence is currently working on the Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, as well as a Netflix adaptation of the video game BioShock. Reeves is attached to about 4 franchises at the moment, and his career is in full swing, and it seems like it's highly unlikely that the Constantine sequel will be the only work lining his in tray for a while. The sequel to the 2005 movie Constantine, Constantine 2 won't receive a release date for a while. So how did the Constantine sequel get approved after 17 years? Everyone involved with Constantine 2 seems ecstatic about the upcoming sequel, especially Keanu Reeves. So much so that when asked which character he'd like to play on the late night show with Stephen Colbert, Reeves said John Constantine. This, combined with the audience's reaction, was enough to resurrect talk of Constantine 2, and both the original director Francis Lawrence and screenwriter Akiva Goldsman are involved. In a panel with Reeves, Lawrence and Goldsman at the San Diego Comic-Con digital convention, attendees learned why Constantine 2 took 17 years to get greenlit. The answer is predictable: red tape. Although John Constantine is a DC superhero, there were several properties and pre-existing plans for the character that were beyond Lawrence's control. J.J. Abrams, for example, was attached to a Constantine project at one point, which starred Soap Derisu. Despite the red tape, Constantine 2 is finally happening, with Keanu Reeves reprising his role as the exorcist, and fans are overjoyed.